Louisville has $17 million available for mid-year budget adjustments. Mayor Greenberg shared his ideas on what to do with the money. Dare to Care held their annual mobile food pantry in honor of Bobby Ellis, and we have a recap of this year's Veterans Parade. All that and more on Louisville This Week. I'm your host, John Ramsey, Director of City Partnerships. Louisville has about $17 million available in mid-year budget adjustments. Mayor Craig Greenberg suggests the money be used to invest in safety and housing, among other things.
Louisville Metro government is in a very good financial place. We have strong financial standing. This means that we can make updates to our parks, to our swimming pools, to libraries for our children and families, that we can have safer roads, new cutting-edge technology, resources, and facilities for our first responders, more police officers, more paramedics, and so much more. This means a safer Louisville, a more vibrant Louisville, without raising taxes, without using unsustainable funding models that others have used. We can do all of this because we're using our resources wisely and being careful about how we manage every one of your taxpayer dollars.
We continue to share information related to the investigation and cleanup of the UPS plane crash site as it becomes available.
It really saddens me to have to be here and speaking to you about such a tragedy. All 14 victims have been identified. They were identified by DNA, some by DNA and dental records, some by DNA and medical records, but all of them were positively identified by the DNA. We finished this completion of testing about less than 24 hours ago. It was all complete. All of the victims' families have been notified, and we've been working closely with them throughout this whole process. I'll go ahead and release the names now. On Flight 2976, Captain Dana Diamond, 62 years old. Captain Richard Wartenberg, 57 years old. First Officer Lee Truitt, 45 years old. Angela Anderson, 45 years old. Carlos Fernandez, 52 years old. Louisness Fedden, 47 years old. And Kimberly Asa, who was the granddaughter, 3 years old, of Mr. Fadden. Trinidad Trina Chavez, 37 years old. Continuing, there's Tony Crane, 65 years old. John Locks, 52 years old. John Spray, 45 years old. Matthew Sweets, 37 years old. Ella Petty Horton, 31 years old. And Megan Washburn, 35 years old. And on behalf of the entire coroner's office, to all the families, please accept again our sincere condolences for your tragic loss.
First was just utter shock, grief, not really knowing how we could all process what's going on. I think some of that shock is still there, but you're seeing a lot of sadness right now in our community, a lot of hurt, whether it's meeting with victims' families, whether it's meeting with survivors who are starting to come to grips with their own experiences out there.
These are not trained first responders that we have heard over the past week about the great work of our firefighters, police officers, other emergency responders. But folks that were at Grade A Auto Parks, employees who jumped into action to save their colleagues. It was incredibly inspiring and uplifting during this time of great pain and tragedy. We will be there to continue to support the entire Grade A family and all the other victims and survivors for as long as it takes. Through the weekend and today, NTSB continues its work at the site, continuing the investigation to provide answers so many of us are looking for. First responders remain at the scene. Today, they're removing heavy equipment, heavy parts of the plane that have fallen into the crash site so that other first responders can continue the search for any victims that still remain on the scene. It remains a dangerous place to be, and so that's why it is still restricted to first responders.
In case you missed it, here's what happened at the last Metro Council meeting.
Hello, I'm Brent Ackerson, your Metro Council President and the Metro Council Representative for District 26. We've just concluded our latest Metro Council meeting, and here are some key highlights.
The council approved an ordinance regarding the regulation of massage facilities, approved the reappointment of Inspector General Edward Harness for another 4-year term, approved and adopted the South Central Neighborhood Plan, which includes the Beachmont, Preston Park, Southland Park, and Wilder Park neighborhoods. Approved ordinances changing Metro's contribution to the system and benefits for the Policeman's Retirement Fund and Firefighters Pension Fund. Requested the Planning Commission review the Land Development Code relating to packaged liquor stores. Approved an ordinance amending the Land Development Code regarding freestanding birthing facilities. Approved an amendment prohibiting overnight parking in Metro parks. And finally, the council approved a resolution honoring Mary Lee and George Fisher by rededicating the corner of East Witherspoon and North Floyd Streets in their honor. Councilor Betsy Rui honored officers Kenneth Allen and Jeffrey Emmerich for their heroic actions, and Councilman Herndon introduced the new president of Spalding University, Dr. Ann Kenworthy.
Thank you for staying engaged and interested in your local Metro government. Remember, you can watch all our meetings live on Little Metro TV, Spectrum Channel 184, or tune in online at louisvilleky.primegov.com/public/portal. Your voice matters to us. If you have any questions, concerns, or ideas, please reach out to your Metro Council representative online at louisvilleky.gov/Metro Council.
This year's Veterans Parade and celebration was held in New Lou. Here are some highlights from the event.
If you see a veteran or a member of a veteran's family, please thank them. This is their day, this is their parade, and that's what today is all about. VFW 1170 Honor Guard is comprised of veterans from the Korean War through the current war on terrorism. The DuPont Manual High School Band. Heroes among us, Walter Thomas Smith, 89 years old, served from 54 to 59. The Kentucky National Guard from 77 to 99. Wow. All of this dedicated service. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg and the best First Lady in the country, his wife Rachel Greenberg. Please take this opportunity to tell your kids a little bit about veterans and the sacrifice that they make. Perhaps you've already made them aware, but remind them today about this country that we live in, the freedom that we enjoy, and the reason for that are many of the ladies and gentlemen who are standing beside them, veterans of our country.
For Veterans Day, we're recognizing a city employee who has also served in the military each week in November.
My name is Deontay Clark. I was a specialist in the U.S. Army. My MOS, I was a construction equipment mechanic, and I also operated. I joined the military in 1997, right before I graduated high school. I went to the Army. I was a reservist for 7 years. It's Robin Williams. Once in a lifetime opportunity. I have a hat that he signed, so I'm gonna put this in my shadow box. Meeting different people, I got to travel the world. Like I said, I got deployed during Enduring Freedom. So right after 9/11, that was kind of scary, but I mean, I had to do what I had to do. Me just playing around in my gas mask teaches you like strength that you don't know that you have within yourself, and you get disciplined. Like, it helps with ventures outside of being in the military. So it overall in life, it just makes you a different person. You're more outgoing, more apt to like take risks. Here is a picture of my first deployment. We went to El Salvador to help build a school. I operated a loader the majority of my time, dump trucks, so I'm right back at home. So a lot goes on around here. I am a senior equipment operator here with the Waste Reduction Center. I help load the trucks that go out to the landfill. Then I let people know when they come in where to dump the junk that they're bringing. Next month will make a year for me. But I've been with Public Works for almost 7.
I salute you, my fellow veterans.
Volunteered during the Veterans Day Parade. Last year they had me driving the snowplow through the parades. It was amazing. We're all family, we're all under one unit. Just to know that I was doing something to serve my country was amazing. I'm pretty much proud of myself for getting through it. Makes you tough, makes you kind of stronger. That's it.
Every year, Dare to Care hosts a mobile food pantry in honor of Bobby Ellis, the 9-year-old who died of malnutrition in Louisville more than 50 years ago. This year, the event also included a health fair.
Vaccines, food, and hope.
Thank you, Love Bug.
Our second annual Bobby Ellis Memorial Food Giveaway and our commitment to a shared future that no one should ever have to be without food.
Can I put some carrots? Yeah.
Bobby's legacy is a reminder of why we must act and why we must never stop.
And this is, for the first time, our community health fair that is joining with us, and we have so many different vendors.
We're showing what it means to care for one another, not just in words, but in action.
And why it is so important that we're doing what we're doing today, and why our mission matters even more today than it did in 1969.
I need that cabbage to eat for Thanksgiving.
As we honor Bobby, we must also face the hard truth that hunger is continuing to rise again.
Thank you.
Over the past 2 years, we've seen a 48% increase in need. That's unimaginable when you think about just within a 2-year period. This is a higher need than we've seen even during the pandemic.
Is with us in far too many corners of our city. And so I'm thrilled to be here to come together again today and in all of the days forward to continue to address the hunger challenges in our community.
This city's holiday kickoff event, Light Up Louisville, is just a few weeks away.
We have another celebration for our community, one of the biggest and most beloved annual events in Louisville, and that's Light Up Louisville, powered by LG&E.
3, 2, 1.
Great chance to come together as a community, to support one another, to have some fun during these tough times. It's Saturday, December 6th at Jefferson Square Park, right across the street here from 3 to 9 p.m. Admission is free for everyone, and it's the official kickoff to the holiday season across our entire city.
The beautiful lights, the special guests from the North Pole, new attractions, as the mayor described, that are introduced each year during this free event draw thousands of families and guests from around our region to come see and what makes Louisville so special. We encourage everyone to come early and stick around to take in downtown, grab a bite to eat, and do some holiday shopping while you're here at the downtown holiday market and nearby businesses.
Fifth Third Bank is investing in New Lou with a 10,000 square foot Kentucky headquarters space on the 4th floor of the New Lou Yard development.
To have a city and to have an urban core that is growing, that is thriving, that is innovative, that is the home to really interesting things happening and new ideas taking shape, requires individuals and teams that are willing to take risk, that share a vision for continued urban development and excitement and energy. And that's what Wayland Ventures has been doing for so many years. And this whole entire project is reflective of their commitment to have a hotel, have people living downtown and here in the New Lou district, have people play so many great places to eat and places to work as well, all in one project, is very difficult to pull off. And this is yet another example. So thank you all so much.
A little bit about this financial center. It's called a Next Gen de Novo branch. And the reason why we call it Next Gen is because it does a really great job of meeting the needs of customers the way that we know that they want to do their banking. So we have data that tells us that not only is the brick and mortar still extremely important in the way that we meet our customer needs, but also the digital capabilities that Fifth Third Bank can bring with the brick and mortar. And so when you have, when you're making your tour today and you have time, please stop by the Financial Center as well, and the team will be more than happy to show you some of that technology that has been introduced to this Financial Center. Everything from our dynamic screen that helps our customers feel really good about the products and services that we make available and the advice that we're giving to our customers. In addition to that, all of our team members in the Financial Center are equipped with tablets that allow them to move about the Financial Center in a way that's most meaningful for our customers.
At this month's Louisville Forum, speakers discuss priorities for Kentucky's 2026 legislative session.
Our topic this month is the 2026 preview of the legislature coming up here in a couple of months, rapidly approaching. And we have four legislators who've agreed to join us today. We really appreciate them coming.
So I want to bring home as much money as we can to Louisville. We understand that Louisville's the economic engine. We're 18% of the population, 24% of the revenues in the state. That's something I say a lot. I also say a lot about our schools, 165 schools. We want to say Louisville is different in kind, but we know that we're part of the entire Commonwealth. We do also have to understand that Louisville is successful because of our friends out in the rest of the state.
Our General Assembly is primarily made up of rural legislators. And so a lot of times when the budget comes over from the House, our metropolitan areas don't fare as well. And so we really have to work together, House and Senate, to make sure that our metropolitan areas are covered.
We know that 1 out of every 5 Kentucky kids is living in poverty, and their families are struggling for their grocery bills right now. We know that those families that were already struggling to afford diapers and all the other things those kids needed, those challenges are only going to get that much greater, that much more acute, that much more severe.
If we don't get serious about housing, we won't have a Kentucky that our future generations will be proud of. So for me, housing is the paramount. It's the chief priority for us.
You can watch the full Louisville Forum discussion here on Metro TV Wednesdays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. We went out on the street and asked people who their favorite veteran is.
I just want to give a shout out to all the veterans. Thank you for your service as well. One of my favorite veterans would be my grandfather, my Aunt Teresa, my Uncle Kelly, my cousin Ronell, my father, the whole military family, stands behind us. So thank you for the service.
I have 3, my late grandpa and my twin cousins, Margot and Mario.
A favorite veteran is probably my uncle. He died a couple years ago, but he was in the Navy for a long time and then went to work for GE.
My favorite veteran is my father-in-law. I just see him as a bonus father, and I think you're amazing. So
my father's name is Masonette Trinidad. He's very important to me because of the things he instilled in me, the determination to be better. He was an old school type of guy, so he showed me the older ways of doing things and being confident in yourself instead of relying on other people, to other people's opinion to try to help you guide yourself. But my father was a great man.
Metro TV intern Jalen shares his favorite parts of Louisville with us in this My Louisville segment.
I'm Jane Lewis. This is my Louisville. The waterfront is one of my favorite places to go, especially on a good sunny day like today. The glistening water is so clear and blue. Nice trees, grass, and cool seats you can swing on. The Big Ford Bridge is great to exercise walk on too. Let's head over to the Gall House. Here it is. The Gall House is another place I like to visit where you can rent a nice room and find restaurants to eat at like Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse. Someday I'd like to have a nice steak there. I'm a Leo, so I had to get these lines in the video. The conservatory that crosses over 4th Street is one of the key features of the Gall House, and the see-through elevators are pretty cool too. And last but certainly not least, the Muhammad Ali Center. This is where you can see and learn about the legend who floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali.
He can't do no shuffle and he writes no poem.
Look out for a picture of Ali's friend and Louisville Metro TV host, John Ramsey, inside too.
What does your Louisville look like?
Eastern High School students are getting a career-focused education with pathways in business, computer science, and service and design.
Eastern has a great community full of a bunch of amazing different people, and it's a really great school.
There's really something for everyone. I came here and I didn't know anybody. I really found friends very quickly.
I've seen community within classrooms that I've walked into. I love my teachers. That's what makes it the most interesting.
The business pathway is very challenging. However, we have the teachers and staff to really help you and push you to do your best.
A middle schooler would absolutely feel included with the freshman academy, and with a lot of the mentorship that we have, they would definitely be able to feel like this is a place for them and fit right in.
I've been in the network security pathway. It focuses on cybersecurity and technology mainly. I've gotten industry certifications in it that would allow me to get a job outside of high school without even going to college.
My pathway is computer programming. It's a student-oriented programming pathway where you work hands-on with items like drones and 3D printing materials. I feel like this pathway really helped me prepare myself for college, whether it comes to certifications that this pathway offers and college credit so that you don't have to take beginner classes when you go there. We have a student-run enterprise, which is about 10 kids or so. So JCPS Accounting reached out for us to make them a logo. One of the other ones, we are doing a bunch of open house cards. So for 8th grade open house, if you see any little pamphlet or anything, it's made by us. I'm leaving high school with a full portfolio, and I have all my basic information about graphic design carrying with me into my college years, and it just seems like a very viable resource.
Nothing works in the world without business. So I feel like since everything's based on business, even if you want to pursue something in a different career field, it'll always lead back to business. The business pathway has prepared me for my future career because it's taught me skills in the business world, in finance, in economics, in management that I want to carry into my future career in wealth management or financial portfolios.
You can find connection opportunity through our many clubs and organizations. There's things from business competitions to your classic sports, baseball, soccer, basketball.
Eastern is always a giving community, but it is amplified during the holiday caravan season when the whole school comes together to be able to help about 365 families around Louisville. We have performances from band, choir, orchestra, guitar. Our ballroom dancing class performs.
I actually came to Eastern as a junior, but I have found community because there are so many great cultures and different kinds of people to interact with at our school. And it's a really great place to meet new people, gain new friends, and participate in activities that you would have never thought that you would do.
Central High School's Law and Government Magnet hosted a legal career fair to broaden students' understanding of the diverse opportunities available within the legal profession.
It's going to be that table over there. Today we're here at Central High School in our small gym, and we are hosting our first legal career fair. And I set this up as a way to kind of introduce my pre-law students into the different careers they can potentially have if they decide to continue down the path.
So it's not just about lawyers who are here. There's people from the county jail. There's people from the clerk office. There's people, so you can just get a feel about what do you want to do and the pathway you're going to take to get there.
It's actually very helpful. Sometimes all you need is that one person who is there and that'll give you the words of encouragement that you need, that'll keep you motivated, keep you pushing in life. And I feel like that's what everybody here is doing today.
How do you guys actually use the DNA to figure out who the person is? Like, okay, you guys find a fingerprint, but then how do you guys identify that person?
My goal is really just to expose my students to everything that life has to offer outside of high school. So part of this is learning how to network, working on our public speaking skills, learning how to introduce yourself, obviously learning that first impressions are everything, but also to let them know that the program has a huge support system outside of these walls, and to know that there are people out there that care about where they end up. How are you? Your name?
It's definitely giving me less of a nervous feeling, being able to know more about the subject that I'm so interested in, especially taking out into the real world, for me to be able to tell someone else about what I've learned in high school, to be able to talk with a professional about it and be somewhat on the same terms of them. So knowing something that they know and expecting me to know since I'm fresh out of high school is definitely more of a ease from the nerves.
I also get to meet people who have been in the real world, and it makes it easier to see, okay, wait, what did you do to get here? And how did that help you? Or how one choice made all these other things fall into place? And how can I learn from your own experience to help better mine?
There's always something to do in Louisville. Roseanne Maston with Louisville Tourism joins us with some ideas.
Hi, I'm Roseanne Maston with Louisville Tourism. Here are a few things happening around Louisville this week. The North American Championship Rodeo is back November 13th through 15th. This high-energy lineup of events is held at Freedom Hall and includes bull riding, team roping, women's barrel racing, rodeo clowns, and more as part of the North American International Livestock Exposition. Laugh it out with comedian, actor, and filmmaker Aziz Ansari, known for his roles in TV shows Parks and Recreation and Masters of None, during his performance at the historic Brown Theater on November 14th. Celebrating 36 years, the Festival of Trees and Lights creates an indoor winter wonderland at Slugger Field, displaying hundreds of decorated trees and wreaths, November 14th through the 16th. Plus, snap a photo with Santa, enjoy train rides, and elf and Hanukkah activities. The holiday-themed Lights Under Louisville kicks off on November 14th. Find 7 million points of light, over 900 holiday light displays, a laser light show, and more at the Louisville Mega Cavern for its annual seasonal tradition. Louisville welcomes Cirque Calabante Afrique and Cirque on November 16th. Celebrate the artistry, strength, and agility of circus performance during this show, accompanied by the contemporary sounds of live Afro jazz, percussion, and kora at the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts. Find out more details about these events and others at gotolouisville.com. Just click on the calendar of events.
One of the creatures in the Louisville Zoo's nocturnal area is a Sonoran desert toad. Here's a little more about them from Derek, a herp aquarium keeper.
This is a Colorado River toad. We have 4 currently that we have an exhibit here. Mostly they live in the southwestern part of the U.S., that little area by the Sonoran Desert, usually by a stream. So this is our nocturnal area here. So a lot of these frogs will come out at nighttime to hunt bugs and stuff like that, you know. Even other smaller frogs sometimes too. These have pituitary glands right here behind its eye, and they have like a toxicity that comes out. People take advantage of it, of what the euphoria they can give. You can see them kind of milking up, see that? Kind of a slimy slime. Keeps them moist. They're pretty used to us. You know, sometimes in the wild you would get one, they would start secreting, but they're pretty used to us now. They don't need to really secrete. Come by and say hello whenever you stop by. Sometimes they're hopping around, sometimes they're kind of just sitting there. They're really quite beautiful, aren't they?
Metro Animal Services has dogs, kittens, cats, and puppies, all looking for a foster or forever home. Thank you for watching Louisville This Week. You can share Metro TV with your family and friends by following us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X, or by downloading the Metro TV app on Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire TV. We'll see you next time.